and welcome to Sport Vibes on DNT Work. This week we'll be talking about a very unique kind of sport and yet again taking life lessons from this event. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the sports pilot. Stay tuned and prepare yourself for this ride. Welcome back to Sport Vibes on DNT Work. This week we'll be talking about para sports. And we'll be focusing on para sports in Nigeria. Of course, para sports talks about sport activities for disabled personalities, disabled people, maybe physically or intellectually. And this time around, it may not be news to you that Bayelsa State emerged champions of the inaugural edition of the National Para Games in Nigeria after winning 93 medals at the event tagged Abuja 2022 Festival. The 6-day event, which was held at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, saw Bayelsa win 31 gold, 30 silver, and 32 bronze medals. Oyo State finished second on the final medals table with a total of 60 medals, while Kano State placed third with 42 medals. Edo State and Ondo State were placed 4th and 5th respectively. And a total number of 21 states competed for honors at the event. So a very good one for Bayelsa State. This is a state that has been doing well for themselves. Don't forget, last year at the National Sports Festival itself, they came third in Edo State, and this time around in the Para Games, they're doing well for themselves. 93 medals is no mean feat. But away from the achievement of these teams, this state, of course, Oyo State coming second and some other states doing so well for themselves too at the Para Sports. You might want to look away from that. We want to look away from that actually, because as I mentioned earlier, and as it is our custom on Sport Vibes, we'll try as much as possible to take a step further, go beyond looking at the entertainment, the activities, the excitement around sport, and take life lessons from sport. Of course, the achievement is very commendable, very, very applaudable, what the state of Bayelsa has done, and the likes of Oyo State, Edo State, and so on. But right now, let's talk about Para Games and the lessons you and I could learn from what is going on there. So Bayelsa, Oyo State, Kano, Edo, Ondo State, these are states that have represented themselves well in terms of para sports. But we'll take a quick break now and look at some of the events that took place at just concluded inaugural edition, the very first edition of this para sports festival in Nigeria. And when we come back, we'll look at one or two lessons we can learn from these excellent individuals. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying with us on Sport Vibes. I believe you were amazed by some of those things you saw for yourself. And of course, now let's talk about some of the life lessons we can learn from these guys, these amazing individuals, because you see, we've mentioned these, it sounds like a broken record really, but it bears repeating that sports, as entertaining as it is, the entertainment aspect should not be ignored, should not be underestimated, and we do not do that on Sport Vibes. We definitely value the entertaining aspect, but there's this educative aspect to sport as well, that when you look through sports, you can see a lot of lessons in life. You see an hardworking individual doing so well for himself, and then you know nothing happens by luck really in life. But not to bore you with stories now, let's talk about para sports and the lessons we could learn from these guys. And I think the most boldly written lesson about para sports is the fact that regardless of any disability in quotes that is tagged to anyone, to any individual, it must not limit what you want to achieve. And these are the guys modeling this in themselves, whether it be intellectual or physical, whatever disability you seem to have. Yours could even be financial, not having enough capital to start up that wonderful business idea you've got. You want to go on and further more on your academics, and it seems there is nothing coming through. A lot of disabilities we seemingly face in life, but When you look at these guys, definitely you can learn that lesson that no, we are not beggars. We are not going to bank on the fact that there is one limitation or the other in terms of an external attributes that we do not have. There is something important, there is something huge God has dropped and deposited in us. So we are going to take opportunities available in this world. Millions of subscribers, millions of spectators attend the Paralympic Games. When you follow the Paralympic Games, be it the Winter Games or the Summer Games, you see these guys impress themselves, impress those waiting, impress their family members and a lot of other people by what they can offer. So the lesson for you and me is the fact that we should not just fold our arms and say, this is my circumstance. The word circumstance is from the Latin adverb circum, which means roundabout or around. So whatever is around you really has no major impact in what should become of you. You have the right to choose. You have the right to be responsible about what you get in life. And definitely, as I said earlier, these para athletes have shown us time and again that you must not allow any disability. I say that in quotes because disability has various definitions per individual. You shouldn't allow any disability tagged towards you or anything tagged at you to limit what you plan to achieve in life or what God will have you achieve. Definitely, there is something greater than any external or roundabout limitation around you. If you look inwards, if you fan up your flames, definitely, again, I say definitely, there is no limitation to your success. So instead of complaining and lamenting about the ability you do not have, the financial muscle you do not have to further your project, whatever it seems it is, why not be faithful with the little you have? Instead of waiting till the billion comes, why not be faithful with the 1,000 you have available and start little by little? Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Any big businessman, any big sportman, really, anyone doing well for themselves in life will definitely tell you, if they have gone through the right process, that it's not all balloons and birthday cakes. There are days where you have to be refined, or you have to learn small lessons. We talked about that last time out, that life is really like a compound made up of several elements where you have to take lessons after lessons, precepts upon precepts that makes a whole. And lessons you learn in stages where there seems to be a disability or the other here or there are very, very important to ensuring you are stable when you finally get to the point you are aiming for. So do not allow any external situation, do not allow anyone to call you little, to call you disabled. You have ability in you. If only you would take up responsibility and start working with what you have. So this was the inaugural edition of the National Para Games. The second edition is expected to take place next year, and subsequently we expect to have it every 2 years. Every 2 years, because there is supposed to be a space for teams. The intention is not to put so much burden on each state, because obviously they would have to prepare their teams for the National Sports Festival as well. So having to fund your teams for the National Sports Festival and the National Para Games within the same year could be too much of a financial burden. So that's very considerate from the Ministry of Sports, and we keep our fingers crossed concerning that and expect the very best. It's a short one, but a very, very important one on Sport Vibes this week. Ensure you do not just listen and enjoy per se. Ensure you listen again, become aware and become conscious of this truth that you are not disabled financially, emotionally. You do not need an external party to determine your joy, to determine your achievements. We've said it here, but it bears repeating time and again that you alone have the right to define what becomes of you. Partnering with what God has deposited in you, you definitely have no limitations. That's it on Sport Vibes this week. Remember, it's not about them, it's not about it, it's about you. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the Sport Pilot. If you enjoyed this video, please ensure you subscribe to DNT Work, follow us across our social media platforms, and ensure you like the video and share with as many people as possible. Thank you so much once again, and bye for now.